The hammer, Michelle. Oh, wait. Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. A notice listing the time, date, and place of this meeting was posted on the public bulletin board of all Freehold Township schools on the entrance door to the administrative offices of the Board of Education on the district website, at the office of the Freehold Township clerk, published in the Asbury Park Press on January 8, 2021, and sent to the news transcript on January 6, 2021. I'd like to invite you all, I'd like to invite you all to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Roll call, Mr. DeVita.
Mr. Amoroso. Present. Mrs. Costanza. Mrs. Cozzolino. Mrs. Holtz. Mrs. O'Sullivan. Mrs. Thoman.
Here.
Ben Natoli.
Here.
Mrs. Patton.
Present.
Mrs. Lambert.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum.
May I please, thank you, Mr. DeVita. May I please have a motion to approve the October 26, 2021 regular meeting minutes?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now a motion, so moved. Now a motion for the October 26, 2021 executive session minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Communications, Mr. DeVita.
The only communication this evening is enrollment. September of 2021, we had 3,488 students. October of 2021, we had 3,493. And in October of 2020, we had 3,572. And that is the only communication this evening.
Thank you, Mr. DeVita. President's remarks, unless Mrs. Lambert, unless you had something you wanted to say. I'll just say a couple, as I'm happy and humbled to stand in for Mrs. Lambert this evening. As we head into Thanksgiving week, we are so thankful to our staff, students, and parents for their hard work, patience, and goodwill during what has been trying times for so many. And the entire board would like to wish everyone a relaxing and beautiful Thanksgiving holiday. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Dickstein for the administrative report.
Thank you. I'd like to begin this evening acknowledging the passing of Mr. Katina. As you know, the school on Burlington Road that he was the proud principal of for so many years is named in his honor. I met his daughters for the first time at the service, and I told his daughters the first thing he told me when I became principal. Kathy knows, she was principal after me. He came to the school. He had to build a relationship with that new principal every time, and he would come to events and really proud to be there. And what he told me, his first words of wisdom were, listen, Neil, when you have an administrative meeting and you're talking about staffing or budget, do not get up and leave that room, because you're going to come back minus money or minus people. And his daughters loved that. But he was one of the kindest men. When I came over to central office, he called here to see how I was doing. Are you good over there? Are you okay? Such pride in the school, pride in the staff that he hired, who some still are at that school. And we lost a great man. So I would like to just take a minute for a moment of silence for Mr. Katina in his memory. Thank you. At the service, the staff and the PTO from Katina sent lovely flowers with the big Katina logo on it, and it was up there proudly. And there was an entire poster board dedicated to Mr. Katina and his time here. He was big on every time we were together, every principal had to take a picture together. All of the pictures were up on the poster board across the front. This was a big part of his life, and he will be missed here. I did have the first PTO liaison meeting, being that it was a period of time since we had it. I did share with Mrs. Lambert my apologies for not inviting a board member. We were so excited to start them up again that I neglected to ask for somebody. I did speak with Michelle today, and it would be going forward. If there is somebody consistent or two people consistent from the board who would like to attend them, they're through Zoom at this moment. That's the preference of the PTO liaison group. They're every other month. And if we have two people who are interested, if you tell Michelle, she'll let me know, and I'll send you the dates and the Zoom links for the rest of the school year. We did have a conversation about, it was a lovely meeting. We have a great group of parents and our PTO executive boards. We are looking to, or we are changing the name from PTO liaison. It's a little outdated, and really the purpose is collaboration, get them getting information from the central office district level, us getting information from the parents. What do you need? What would you like to see? So it's really a collaborative back and forth exchange during those meetings, us informing them, them giving informing us and asking for some input. And we are going to name it the Parent Leadership Committee. So we're going to rename it Parent Leadership Committee instead of PTO Liaison. Yeah, it's a little.
Will it be restricted to just PTO executive board
At
still?
this moment, but I like the way, I did think that the potential, if we're looking at changing it, the potential exists to expand beyond just the PTO presidents, PTO executive boards. But at this moment, we just changed the name, so I would be open to other ideas of how to include other parents. But at this moment, it's just changing the name of PTO liaison. But I do think that there is an opportunity to look at how we can invite other members of the school community on that group as well.
Yeah, when are, I mean, are they gonna be on a consistent day?
Cindy scheduled them. I believe she made them every other month on a Monday. And it was just this past Monday. In the morning, it was 11 o'clock.
Are we going to take an oath to continue to call it the parent meeting, not the PLC?
That can be confusing, so I think we should remain with Parent Leadership Committee.
It's a PLC.
Yeah, it is. The school calendar is on tonight's agenda. It was reviewed by FTA representation as required in the contract. Central office and our school administrators reviewed the calendar. And before I do the calendar, since we are first in the regional per our calendar out, I do ask for it. We don't approve until at least the regional is drafted. So I did review the draft of the regional high school district before I did this. So we just want to have as much advance notice of the days off to our staff as possible and our parents. We get asked very early on when school starts for the next year. You will notice, and this is Kay's going away gift, I told her, we added 3 days into the calendar for emergency closing days. She's been asking for years. So as a parting gift, it actually is a good practice, but we added the 3 days into the calendar. I joked with Kay that it's a parting gift. And since our last meeting, we had 4 incidents of harassment, intimidation, and bullying, and all 4 were founded.
Thank you, Mr. Dickstein. Now it's opportunity for public participation, agenda items only. This is the first opportunity for public participation. If anyone wishes to address the board, please write your name and address on the sign-in sheet and state your name for the record. Statements are limited to 3 minutes and should not be abusive, obscene, or defamatory in nature. Like to address the board? Seeing none. Personnel Committee, Mr. Amoroso.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The Personnel Committee of myself met this evening. Really exciting. I love the candy room.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Me, myself, and I.
Oh, thank you. Can you hear me okay? I was just saying that Ms. Brethauer has a beautiful display of candy in the conference room. I was sitting there and there was a whole table of goodies. So I was resistant to touch it. We just went over some agenda items, and that was really all that occurred at the personnel meeting. I'd like to move the following items, starting with item 3, which breaks my heart, the retirement of Mrs. Cochran, who taught math to my daughters, and she is a lovely math teacher. She's going to be missed. I noticed in her letter that 36 of her 38 years were at Freehold Township, so she was really something for this district. We're going to miss her. Item 4, the resignations as listed. Item 5, new employment of Jenna Bauman, Susan Gleason, Jillian Wintle, I don't know if anybody's here this evening. Do we have any new employment here? Okay, if you're listening online, congratulations and welcome. Item 6, the establishment of a start date for Mr. Ciparillo as listed. Item 7, the adjusted start date as listed. Item 8, the change of assignment salary adjustments as listed. Item 9, the salary adjustments as listed. Item 10, the extend long-term assignment as listed. Item 11, the change and extend long-term assignment as listed. Item 12, which are the leave of absences as listed in the chart. Item 13, unpaid days as listed in the bottom chart. Item 14, elementary task teams, which are listed in the chart. Item 15, the appointment to attend IEP meetings from Michelle Coogan as listed. Item 16, district mentors as listed. Item 17, the approval of the volunteers as listed in the chart. Item 18, a PBS coach revision as listed below. Item 19, PBS coach approval as listed. Item 20, the PBS building-based committees as listed in the numerous charts on the next page. Item 21, the PTO honoraria for the activities and for the people as listed. Item 22, the certified substitutes as listed in the chart. And item 23, the non-certified substitutes as listed in the below chart. I believe that's everything.
Questions or comments? Second?
I think we need a roll call.
Yes, roll call, Mr. Freeman.
Mr. Amoroso,
Yes.
Mrs. Coslino,
Yes on everything, but I need to abstain on 20-12.
okay. Mrs. Spellman,
Yes.
Mrs. Vendatoli,
Yes.
Mrs. Patton,
Yes.
Mrs. Lambert.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. 6-0.
And just want to welcome again Ms. Bauman, Ms. Gleason, and Ms. Wintle. So thrilled to have you. Also, to our new substitute staff, thank you. We are very happy to have you and looking forward to having your support. Curriculum and policy, Ms. Pasolini.
Hello. We met last night, the third grade task force. The third grade word study task force and their work and what they were able to examine over and it actually it bears relevance to some of the discussion this board has been having. They focused on reading and they were talking about how the district is now able to really drill down based on the data we're collecting into where our struggling readers are having their issue. Is it decoding? Is it comprehension? And how they're able to use almost an intervention model, actually an intervention model to dive deep into that and try to move these kids along. That was the majority of the meeting. We discussed the agenda, if anybody had any questions, and that was pretty much it. I also asked for a copy of that presentation because I think it's something that all board members would want to look at. So I want to move the notes I just gave, number 2. Number 3, second reading of policies and regulations as listed. Number 4, home instruction as listed. Number 5, supplemental instruction as listed. The school safety and security plan annual review statement of assurance. Number 7, the student teacher practicum observation placements, as listed. Number 8, the school calendar. 9, the superintendent's report. 10, the superintendent's report. 11, the superintendent's report. 12, the superintendent's report. 13, the superintendent's report. 14, the superintendent's report. 15, the superintendent's report. 16, the superintendent's report. 17, the superintendent's report. 18, the superintendent's report. 19, the superintendent's report. 20, the superintendent's report. 21, the superintendent's report. 22, the superintendent's report. 23, the superintendent's report. 24, the superintendent's report. 25, the superintendent's report. 26, the superintendent's report. 27, the superintendent's report. 28, the superintendent's report. 29, the superintendent's report. 30, the superintendent's report. 31, the superintendent's report. 32, the superintendent's report. 33, the superintendent's report. 34, the superintendent's report. 35, the superintendent's report. 36, the superintendent's report. 37, the superintendent's report. 38, the superintendent's report. 39,
Second?
Will the rest of the board be able to see the presentation of school?
You can see it. It requires a little bit of explanation, so it would need to be. You could see the presentation, but it would have bear more meaning with some discussion. So context, right? So I could set something up if any other board members would like to see it. It just needs context. No problem. Harry, you were shaking your head. You would like to as well?
Question.
Yep, I can make that. Set something up for that.
Okay, and second, and questions or comments? Anybody else? Okay. We don't need a roll call.
No, no, no.
All in favor? Aye. All right. Finance, Facilities, and Transportation, Mrs. Bendatoli.
Thank you. The Finance, Facilities, and Transportation Committee did meet tonight, and we get the attendance award. It was myself, Ms. Tillman, Mrs. Patton, Mr. DeVita, and Mrs. Williams. Full house. We discussed the payroll transfers on the agenda. We just the construction update. The phase 3 of the ESIP is at substantial completion, and the contractor will be working on a punch list, and our architect will be on site for a design development meeting for next year's HVAC projects. Our food services vendor, Sodexo, currently 53% of our students are utilizing the free lunch program that's going on this year, and Sodexo is serving over 38,000 meals a month right now. It's a substantial increase from what was served prior to the pandemic, and they're doing this despite having 8 of their 30 staff positions unfilled due to a labor shortage. And we also discussed the items on the agenda. I'm going to move those now. Number 3, certification. Number 4, the Secretary and Treasurer's report. Number 5, bills and claims in the amount of $1,102,061.61. And thank you, Mr. Amoroso, for doing the bills. Transfers as listed. Payroll transfers as listed. Number 7. Number 8, travel and related expenses as listed. Number 9, travel and related expenses ratify as listed. Number 10, honoraria for the Marshall W. Erickson Elementary School from the PTO as listed. Number 11, honoraria from the Joseph J. Katina Elementary School as listed. Number 12, honoraria for the Dwight D. Eisenhower Middle School as listed. Number 13, donations to the Applegate School Nurse's Office from Michelle and Bill Weissman, and the Dwight D. Eisenhower School from the PTO. Number 14, the 2022 Extended School Year Program. Number 15, the disposals as listed. Number 16, the disposals for Sycamore International as listed. Number 17, the disposal of the surplus property from GovDeals is listed. Number 18, the ESS ER2 amended application as listed. Number 19, the grant-funded substitute stipends 21-22 is listed. Number 20, the accept the grant donations for the Laura Donovan School as listed.
Second?
Oh, does anyone have any questions?
I do. For the travel, I noticed that number 3 and number 5 seem to be the same conference.
Yeah.
But there's a wide disparity in cost. I'm just asking what that is.
Yeah. The number 5, she is already. This is the train the trainer for our CPI. Number 5, she is already a certified trainer, so it's recertification, and adding on the advanced physical skills. Where number 3, he is being initially certified and also getting the advanced physical skills component.
Is there travel expense with that, or is that just the fee?
I'd have to. Oh, I have it. I believe it's just the fee.
That would be separated if it was travel.
No, only I get that on the. Nope, it's just that's the fee. There's no travel.
Any other questions? Ma'am?
Neil, can you just, I'm sure you can do this, but just because it is a substantial amount of money, can you just explain like why we do that and what that is? Just,
That the same ones, the two?
yeah,
Sure. So the travel on the agenda is for two of our staff members to, one to be recertified, another to be initially certified. They then become the trainers for a non-crisis intervention program that basically is used. It's a philosophy of when students are demonstrating challenging behaviors, and it's a tiered program. You need to be certified as a staff member in order to use the program itself with our students, and we need in-house trainers in order to do that. So these two are getting trained, and then they will then do multiple trainings for our staff, recertifying them and providing initial certification. Yeah.
All right, any other questions? Great. It looks like, so we've got our date set for ESY for,
Dates, we're just holding on the location for now. We just have
Okay,
to,
not-
Bob has to look at the list of what's being done in
Who's
which
not gonna have
schools.
air conditioning in July?
gotcha, okay, all right. That's what we're saying for now, but to be
Yep.
confirmed. Okay. May I have a second? All in favor? Aye. All right. I'm gonna do an old business, new business, president's remarks, and just wish everyone a nice kickoff to the holiday season. And then this is the second opportunity for public participation. This is any topic. If anyone wishes to address the board, just a reminder to please write your name and address on the sign-in sheet and state your name for the record. Statements are limited to 3 minutes and should not be abusive, obscene, or defamatory in nature. Anyone for public participation? No? All right. Do you have anything else? Or are you good? Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye. All right. This meeting is adjourned.
You should do every meeting.
Serious.
That's a